What up, YouTube? I hope y'all having a bitchin' Monday. I know I am. Get some more wands made for Etsy. So, Sydney Watson made a new video. Before we get to that, I have something to showcase on YouTube. Yes. I got a receipt from tobaccopipes.com. I wonder what it could be, YouTube. It came in a box, and then a bigger box, and then a smaller box. Looks like they sent me a sticker. Plug that logo. No sponsor. Oh. Yes, your boy Cobra picked up a Savinelli tobacco pipe. Makers of fine pipes since the year 1876. I'm excited, YouTube. I got a Savinelli. They make good pipes. Is this the pipe that you mentioned in that live stream? You're goddamn right it is. Now, I'll always love the other two pipes in my collection, but I've had these for so long, it was time for a new pipe. I'm still going to keep these other two. So let's see how it do. Dude, just before I look at the pipe, look how nice that case is. Look at that. Look at that, YouTube. Look at it. Yes. Savinelli is not a sponsor. This is just free advertisement. This is a smooth green 111. You know the pipe. Okay, let's unbox it. And then we'll do the Sydney Watson video response. Got some goodies in here. I want to keep the box too that it came in. An extra filter. Those are always nice. Look at that. YouTube, yes. YouTube. YouTube. YouTube, I am blown away by this. Now, this is my kind of pipe. Check out my new Savinelli, YouTube. Oh, that is just fucking sexy. My first time seeing it, YouTube, and I am pleased with this. That is a hearty size bowl. And look at that stain, YouTube. Total Cobra Cult colors. Loving it. That's a good fit. Check that out, YouTube. That is my new tobacco pipe. That is just fucking sexy. That is a big old fucking billiard too, man. Yes, now that's a pipe, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you, Savinelli, for continuing to make gorgeous pipes. Oh, look at that. YouTube, that's my new tobacco pipe. Fucking sexy as hell. I paid a pretty penny for it too, man. Like $100 some odd. Worth every penny. Look at that. Look at that gorgeous pipe, YouTube. Oh my god, I already like it. I haven't even smoked out of it, and I already like it. Dude. Yes. So thank you, Savinelli, for this sexy billiard. That's most definitely what's up. Put that back in the bag. Yoop. Oh, YouTube. I cannot get over how sexy that frickin' tobacco pipe is. Oh. So yes, would recommend. That is the pipe that I ordered. Fucking sweet. I also got a new phone. The last one I had was so fucking old, it just would not work. So, yes. Right when my dad was upgrading his old phone into a new one, I got my dad's old phone. And my old phone doesn't work worth a shit. Honestly, if my old phone worked a lot better, I would give it to Campbell, but there's no point because it don't work worth a shit. So it is what it is.
Feels like this crap is never ending.
And the erasure of women continues. Now, I will be filming the second half of my steak video on my new phone and letting that marinade still. Yes, good and tender all day long, baby.
Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to hell. And as per usual, before we launch in, this video is sponsored by Sheath underwear. And also by me. I have some limited edition heartfelt sweaters, jumpers, hoodies, and so on in my merch store. You're welcome to go and check them out. I hope they give you a chuckle.
Now, this is Sydney Watson's perspective. Dude, I love that fucking tobacco pipe. That is just, oh, that's sexy. I could not be happier with that. That is a big ass fucking bowl, too. Decent sized bowl, black and green. My two favorite colors. Fuck yeah, dude. Now, Sydney Watson, she's a female YouTuber. And she is speaking about an issue that I think a lot of women feel is important for women and women's rights. Women are being erased from our society because of, I'm guessing, the whole trans thing. And I kind of agree. At the same time, like we should be able to support trans rights without erasing biological women altogether. You know what I'm saying? Because I got a couple of fans who are transgender who watch my videos. So I'm not going to sit here and crap all over trans people. I got mad respect and support for the trans community. However, I also got respect for cisgendered women. You see my dilemma here? On one hand, it's just like, well, if we support transgendered women and athletes, you're kind of being a sexist towards real women. But on the other hand, if you support real women, you know what I'm saying? You're being called a transphobe. And it's just like, eh. And we've already discussed this on my channel, okay? You want to call me a politically incorrect bastard? Go right ahead. Transgendered women are not real women. That's just a dude with the fake pussy, fake tits, and it's been pumped full of estrogen. What? You know what I'm saying, YouTube? And, you know, like I said, it's the polite thing to do. Okay? In fact, I have a fan who bought one of my female empowerment t-shirts who is a transgendered female. He is transitioning from a dude to a she, and I'm all for it, dude. I respect it. You know? Because if women are more than just a pair of tits and a pussy, then how come we're being forced to call these dudes who transition into chicks? You know, I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just asking questions. That is a fucking sexy pipe. Yes. And you gotta understand, like, trans people have had it pretty hard. They get discriminated against for being different, and it's bullshit. There are a lot of people calling it a mental disorder, and I'm like, that's debatable. Put yourself in someone else's shoes. Could you imagine? I couldn't. Being confused about your gender identity? That would suck so hard, dude. And I'm all for it, but there are people out there who take it too far. They abuse the politically woke tard system we live in, and it makes trans people look bad. At least that's, I'm assuming, what she's about to talk about. I haven't watched the video yet.
Link is in the description. So yeah.
So it doesn't matter. Cheers to women and to you trans women out there. All you stunning and brave individuals. Like, if one of my idols came out as trans, I would support them. That's just how it is, dude. Although, to be fair, you want to have this conversation, it feels like masculinity is being erased from our society. And men are being told to act more feminine. And as soon as we do, to comply with the demands, fucking, we get told, man up, you pussy. And over here, like, you ever get tired of that, ladies? Because as a guy, I get tired of that. Women's private parts being compared to something that's weak or less strong. When women give birth to children, for fuck's sake. I'd like to see a man push a baby out of his dick hole. Scratch that, that'd be disturbing. Better yet, push it out of his asshole. Bet you couldn't do it. And now, believe me, I have a fan who is trans. I think she is awesome. And I support what she does. I am going to use proper pronouns. Even if some of you think it's weird, who are you to make that call? Because there are plenty of trans people, plenty of them, who think us cisgendered folks are weird. And it's horseshit. They can totally crap on us, but if we crap on them, we're the assholes. Then you want to fucking scream at me about equality. Ha 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 ha. That's not fair, Cobra, because trans people have been bullied for centuries. Well, I mean, ancient Egypt, there were men in Egypt who wore makeup and nobody saw it as a transsexual thing. It was just part of the culture. Dudes would wear skirts in Scotland, only they're not called skirts, you fucking bastards. They're called kilts. No one saw it as a transsexual thing. It's just part of the culture. So, like, men have been wearing makeup and cross-dressing for centuries, and nobody has said shit about it because it's part of the culture. And personally, I think it's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, you think trans people are weird. Good for you. That's your opinion. As long as they ain't creeping on kids, who the fuck cares? Yeah.
Around, have a look, buy a thing if you so desire, and or subscribe to the email list on my website because
check out Sydney Watson's merch, baby. Woo!
Helps me tremendously if YouTube ever decides to axe me. Anyway, now fear not, I do have other videos like deep dives and some other projects I'm working on coming in.
I certainly hope YouTube doesn't take down Sydney Watson's channel. If anything, they'd be quicker to take down my channel. Knock on wood. What with the advertisement of tobacco products and alcohol, I always age restrict my videos. I'll drink to that. Yes.
couple days and in the next couple weeks and months and what have you. But as far as this topic goes, if you've been here for any length of time, you know that I care a lot about it. And something happened in the last week or in the last couple of days that really, really bothered me. I already made quite a long video talking.
Oh my God. Just because you have a Twitter account doesn't mean you should post to social media. Let the stupid begin. So there was a person on Twitter who posted this: cis womanhood is violence. Cis womanhood's attachment to genitalia is violence. Cishet woman's pandering to patriarchy is violence. Cis women's notions to femininity are violence. Womanhood is a construct that is not exclusive to cis women. Let me explain this in a way that will not make me sound like the hugest dickhead. If you're a dude and you spent, I don't know, the first 20 years of your life being a dude, reaping the benefits of being a dude, I don't know. Yes, trans individuals have had to fight for their rights, but so have women. So that's kind of where we're at with this whole debacle. Now, if there would have been transgendered women marching alongside women in the 1960s civil rights women's movement, I wouldn't be so inclined to, say what I'm about to say. Like, don't bitch at me about inequality and about how, like, you know, you're being targeted when here you are targeting cis women. Womanhood is not violence, okay? Are there people? Yes, there are people out there who are sexist towards women. But being a woman in general is not violent just because you want to throw extremist words like rape, sexist, homophobic, transphobic, misogynistic, violence, all these horrible words. Doesn't mean that makes them those horrible words.
About the erasure of women, which I will link in the description, where I laid out some of the ways in which womanhood is being pushed to the edge of the cliff and into the ravine, with, of course, lots of sharp, pointy rocks at the bottom to break its fall. I know that this topic, by and large, is constantly being flogged, but in the same way that we need to consistently talk about child abuse and shine a light on it when it happens, and the more and more that it goes on, this topic for me is more or less the same thing. And as I watch crazy people gain more and more ground and the traction that this topic and that this issue is picking up, I feel like it's something that, again, we also need to shine a light on. Because it kind of feels like we're making efforts to erase, like, half of the population. Something that I think is worth noting, too, is that even when we finally get to a point where we say enough is enough, and seriously, I do hope we get to that point, it's worth remembering that the radical activists, this transgender theory, gender theory in general, will still have.
And womanhood is not a construct, you fucking miserable piece of shit. No matter how hard you try, unless you can rearrange your goddamn chromosomes, reverse time, come out your mother's pussy, a female, you're never going to be 100% real female, just a carbon copy of the real thing. And I support it. You know, you want to be trans, that's your choice. But the second you start creeping on kids or taking the rights away from women in general, now I got a problem with it. And nobody wants to say shit about it because that would make you a transphobe. Oh my God. And it's like, look, you can support trans rights but still be fair for both sides.
gained some ground, and these people will still have gained some ground when it comes to their endeavors. Even if these activists have only advanced their agenda a little bit, whether that comes in the form of invading female spaces, erasing language surrounding.
And if you want to smell good for the ladies, check out Tactical Soap. I don't know if it works on trans women. Quite frankly, I don't care. I support trans rights. I do know that Tactical Soap definitely works on the of-age cisgendered women with scents named after the Fight Club, like Durden, or like Top Gun's Maverick, or James Bond's Bond. They got Bond, Durden, and Maverick. They got 3 different scents with 3 different variations of those 3 scents. Plus, they got amazing cologne and the God of War pheromone beard oil. The link description box below. If you like the soap, check it out. Use coupon code King Cobra for 15% off. It's all in the description box below. Yeah. I'll tell you what, that Tactical Soap is the bee's knees. Yes, sir. So ditch the Irish Springs and get yourself a real bar of soap. Now, yes, Tactical Soap does have pheromones in it. It is a pheromone-induced soap. If you're a man and you want to amp up your sex life, spice up your bedroom life, which is, generally smell good for your wife or your girlfriend, you gotta check out Tactical Soap. This stuff is the bee's knees, my dude. Soap kicks ass. So check that out while I check out another beer. Ooh-wee.
Gender or erasing women as a general rule, changing language to a.
Okay, that right there. I'll drink to that, Sydney. Changing the way our language is just to make you feel safe in your own little safe space. Wah. I don't like it when people use the word aspie or spurg. These are derogatory terms for people like me who have Asperger's. I can't change it. All I can do is laugh with them. Like, yeah, that was a spurg moment. Nice going, you aspie. Or every time I rip ass, smells like Asperger's. I refuse to let it be an insult. That being said, I actually kind of agree with Sydney, man. I'm all for supporting transgendered rights. 1,000. But the second you start infringing upon women's rights, like actual cisgendered women, and calling them real women would be, I don't know. I apologize for that. We'll call them cisgenders because there were, God forbid, right? Like, you want to call yourself a real woman, but all you have to do to get those lady parts was go through a very painful and very life-altering surgery, which is pretty traumatic. I'm not going to sit here and crap on it. I couldn't do it because, 1, that's not how I swing. 2, I'm proud of the dick I got between my legs. And 3, that's expensive as fuck. Like I said, I'm all for supporting transgendered rights. But you start shoving this notion onto kids, we got a problem with that. Kids have no concept of gender. All they know is Kindergarten Cop reference. Boys have penises, girls have a vagina. They don't understand the complexity of male versus female like us adults do. That's why sickos are fucked up. This is why kids who identify as trans, YouTube, will either grow out of it or find something different to latch onto. You know, before trans became widely accepted, I was wearing goth makeup. I occasionally will rock some goth makeup, and when they see a cisgendered, straight for of age women white male, or just a straight male who's straight for of age women, who's cisgendered, wearing makeup, it triggers people. Like, unless you're in like a rock band or some shit. You know what I'm saying? And I still rock black nail polish and the occasional eyeliner when I can get it. And I got so much crap for it. People called me a faggot. They said that I look like a tranny and all this other shit. And I gave them the bird and just kept doing my goth thing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like the last person that's gonna crap on somebody for being trans. Believe me. I get crap for being it when I'm not it. You know what I'm saying?
Date their version of reality or even normalizing things that are objectively not normal, they still will have achieved some of their ends. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And I think that more or less summarizes where we're at. Anyway, before you once again board my hell gondola and I take you down into depression land where we talk about the ways in which women are once again being erased by objectively crazy people, let's hear from our sponsor, Sheath Underwear. I'm not a man, as far as I know, and therefore do not need to
I'm a man. Yeah.
my dingle dangles and berries and things off of my legs. But I hear some of you do, and that's what Sheath Underwear is designed to help with.
Well, can't say I've had that problem, Sydney, because usually I don't wear underwear. Unless it's like super, super cold out and I want to keep my king cobra and my cobra eggs nice and warm. Usually I don't wear underwear. Usually I'm free balling. No disrespect to Tom Petty, rest in peace. Now I'm free. Free balling. The weather's really hot outside. And I want my balls to breathe. And I'm tired of dealing with ball sweats. But these underwear she's talking about, you can like literally stick your testicles in a pouch separate from your dick, so it keeps it in place. So you don't got to worry about like your testicles sticking to your leg. Which, yeah, that's happened to me a couple times. And you gotta like reach down your pants and like unstick your, especially like when you're jacking off and you get cum all over yourself and you wipe it off as best you can, but you get like a little leftover and it just like sticks your dick to the side of your leg. You're just like, ew. So I don't know if the underwear can prevent that, but
Purposes of science and given my absence of male genitalia, I asked a few of the men in my life to try out Sheath underwear, and this is what I imagine happened when they did so. Actually, on a serious note, one articulated this to me, and that was a weird conversation. Unlike regular boxers or briefs, which I hear squish everything together, Sheath has 3 individual compartments for the man pickle and the dingleberries, so everything is separate, cool, and comfortable. No chafing or readjusting. And ladies, No stinky man smell for you either. Speaking of you,
Yes. They also make them for the ladies. Limited edition Sheath Digital Rain Sports Bra in code green.
Sheath also
They also make matching panties to go with it.
a female line, because lads, your dingleberries aren't the only thing that gets squashed by uncomfortable undergarments. So if you too
Yes, ladies, I cannot begin to imagine boob sweats, roast beef sweats. Yes. So if you want to try, yeah, I'd give them a try. See how they do. Usually, if I wear underwear, it's like briefs or some kind of boxers or the occasional cock holster. You mentioned King Cobra JFS's neon green cock holster, and yeah, there's photos of me on the internet rocking that beast, letting it all hang out. No shame, but plenty of game. And yeah, that's your kink. No judgment. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I'm proud of my cock too.
to feel easy breezy beautiful cover girl, click the link in the description or go to sheathunderwear.com/Sydney Watson and use promo code Sydney Watson for 20% off your order. I'm assuming your dingleberries will thank you, but it's probably best to find out for yourself. The Daily Wire's Matt Walsh went on Dr. Phil recently and interacted with two.
How would you pick up on an Australian chick? Scares me, missus. Can I throw my jumbo shrimp onto your bobby? Yeah, I got the thunder for you down under. That was not appropriate. I'm sorry.
Professed non-binary people. If you're anything like me and you're still trying to work out how someone can be non-binary when binary refers to two options, and if there's only two options and you're neither of those options, then you're a nothing. Well, hello. Welcome to planet Earth, where everything is a giant joke and nothing makes sense.
Yeah, if the word binary means you have two options and there are only two options, then technically you'd be nothing. But you're something because you're a person. Ow, dude. That makes your boys, dude. No, I gotta take another drink. This is making your boy's head hurt, dude. Straight up, like what? If you want to get a bitch and tobacco pipe like your boy Cobra just picked up, check out tobaccopipes.com. I normally go to Pipes and Cigars to get my pipes, but found that pipesandcigars.com had like none of their green pipes in stock, and I was just like, so I did a little Google search, and Savinelli, oh, that pipe is fucking sexy. That's my kind of pipe. The bowl's big. It's my two favorite colors. My favorite finish, it's smooth. My favorite shape, it's a billiard. Dude, YouTube, that Savinelli pipe I got is Chef's Kiss Magnifique. Oh, YouTube. You bet your sweet Asperger's I'm going to load a bowl of pipe tobacco and smoke it after the video.
Wow, Sydney, thank you so much for your input on a topic that you clearly don't understand as a cisgender heteronormative bigotson. Both of you need therapy, and one of you needs to shower. During the interaction, Matt says what he thinks a woman is, which is an adult human female. And because Dr. Phil copyright claims all clips from his show, I will narrate what's happening here. He says that a female is someone who has female reproductive organs. He adds that being a female goes right down to your DNA. If you were to be dug up in 100 years, researchers can determine your sex because it is coded in every fiber of your being. He adds that researchers can't tell what you believed at the time, but they can tell what sex you are. Unless, of course, we start burying people with their pronoun badges and asexual flags. Matt then turns the question over.
And hey, if you're asexual, nothing wrong with that, dude. There is nothing wrong with being asexual, which means you have no attraction to sex whatsoever. Quite frankly, the dating scene is frustrating enough. Yeah, I tried going asexual. It didn't work. I watched a chick on Chatterbait get naked, and her of-age titties were nice and her curves were. And then I'm like staring at the screen. Then she starts twisting her nipples, squeezing her boobies, diddling her pussy. And I thought to myself, I would fuck the shit out of that woman. God damn. You know, when I'm sitting there looking at cisgendered women on Chatterbait, I'm just like, yeah, no, you're straight for of age biological women. Don't fight it just because you feel guilty because women get treated like crap in our society. And you feel like if you crave it after 4 years of not having it, that somehow makes you look thirsty. I'm like, don't buy into that crap, Cobra. If there was a straight woman in your shoes, she'd be the same way for, yeah.
The they thems. Because, yeah, don't we love the input of people who can't work out what gender they are? Ethan, this person, initially answers and says that he can't define a woman because it's not for him to say, and womanhood looks different for everybody. I can confirm that's a big old. Sydney, your order of nope arrived. Oh my god, finally! Addison, this person, counters and says what happens if a woman has organs that don't work and can't reproduce, or doesn't have some of the organs in question in reference to what.
This is a very touchy subject because, yes, there are women who are born without ovaries, therefore they cannot reproduce or have periods. However, there are womanhood in general is defined by your DNA and your bone structure, your chemical compound, your chemical makeup. Real women, not trying to be a dick to trans people, but real women go through puberty as women, getting made fun of in the locker room because one titty's smaller than the other. Oh my god, look at Harriet's legs. Let's call her Harriet now. Ha 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 ha. Or getting your first period in the middle of gym class in front of all your classmates and you're wearing white shorts. Holy crap, Mary just got her first period. Let's all call her Bloody Mary. Ha 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 ha. And you think guys don't fucking experience that kind of crap? Not periods, fuck no, but guys get made fun of for the way they look too. Dude, why does your dick look like that? Dude, why the fuck you staring at my dick? What are you, gay? No, bro, I'm not gay. I bet you mine's bigger. No, it's not. Prove it, you wuss. Even if you're not like physically whipping it out, that's how it is with guys. Metaphorically speaking, it's a dick measuring contest. Okay. And it doesn't have to be.
Talking about. And honestly, I think this is something that I.
So there were some trans individuals who will say that just because you were born female, sometimes you're not born with all the female parts. Therefore, why can't trans women be called women too? And to some degree, I hear that side of the argument too. That this is the problem with being King Cobra, is that I can see both sides of the argument, both from the trans community and the non-trans.
Answered already in my video, The Erasure of Women, but I do want to repeat it again for good measure. Women are genetically programmed to produce ova and bear young. This is a fact. And whether or not that female eventually does produce offspring or reproduces, whether they are born intact with all their female anatomy or whether their female anatomy works is not the issue. Even non-functioning female anatomy is still female anatomy. In line with Matt's comments, being
Yeah, Sydney Watson also brings up a very fair counterpoint. Whether or not you're born with it, whether or not it works, it's still female anatomy, period. Bad time to make that reference. I'm sorry, ladies.
female, being a woman, is programmed in every single cell of your body. Anyway, Addison, I already answered your question. You're welcome. Addison goes on to say, I cannot define what a woman is because I do not identify as a woman. Womanhood is an umbrella term that includes people who identify as a woman. Identify as what? As a woman. What is that? Well, it's each to their own. Each person is going to have a different relationship with their own gender identity. So trans women are women too. X for doubt. And the audience claps for this. Because, I don't know, I guess studio audiences are now the authority on women. X for doubt. So I have to admit, I found this entire exchange exceedingly not fun. And I guess what made it worse and what added fuel to the fire was the fact that Addison, the non-binary person, took to Instagram to say this. Since the taping, Ethan...
Okay. Not trying to be a dick, but if you're a man and or non-binary, what gives you the authority to dictate what womanhood is? Because this fucking fruitcake can't even decide what their gender is. That's why they prefer to be called they, them, it, which sounds a bit dehumanizing, but what do I know? Now imagine if a dude was sitting at a bar, drinking his ass off, and starts going on about how he knows how childbirth feels, even though he's never experienced it and he's never going to experience it. Imagine how many women that would piss off. Well, that's kind of where Sydney Watson is coming from on this issue.
I have been experiencing a heightened level.
Since the taping, Ethan and they have been experiencing a heightened level of anxiety to the point that they've had numerous nightmares and depression spirals over the last month. This week has been the worst. Okay. This is a very touchy topic for a lot of people. This would be like, let me explain this so trans people can understand it. What if you had a cisgendered person who does not identify as such, talking about like how they understand you when they're nothing like you? You can't tell me that if you were trans and you had a non-binary, cisgendered, whatever the fuck, I don't even know anymore. This is all just flim flam. Okay, no, seriously, if you had a cisgendered person telling a non-binary or transgendered person, I get your struggle, even though that the person who's biological gendered has no fucking clue what it's like. You can't tell me you wouldn't be a little pissed off as a person of that lifestyle. Okay? Now, I'm here to support trans and gays, lesbians, LGBTQ plus IA. I don't know how it changes every other goddamn day, so don't quote me on the exact pronunciation of. I call it LGBTQST. S standing for straight, and then T standing for trans. That includes pretty much. Okay, LGBTQST A plus. A can refer to asexual. I don't know, dude. Look, all I'm saying is if you were trans and you had a non-trans person going on talk shows and being like, well, this is how they think. And it's like, do you even bother to ask them their personal opinion? Or are you just formulating opinions for them? That's how a lot of cisgendered women feel when you have transgendered women going on TV and saying shit like, or going on Twitter and being like, womanhood is violence. And I'm just like, when you see stupid motherfuckers going on Twitter and saying that womanhood is a abstract concept, I'm like, somebody pass the marijuana cigarette, because this is some good shit. That's some bullshit. That's how that be.
Of anxiety to the point that we've had numerous nightmares and depression spirals over the last month. This week,
You're depressed because you can't figure out who you are as a person. But we can't talk about these issues, YouTube. No, we cannot talk about these issues without being labeled a transphobe. How dare you? Bro, I support trans women and cisgendered women too. Like, I'm all about equality for the most part. Except for sickos. Fuck sickos. Fucking shit and piss on Jeffrey Epstein's fucking grave.
been the worst. I'm not sure if they're saying this because they participated voluntarily in a show where someone questioned them and their ideas, which, if you really think about it, is kind of hilarious given that these people are making comments about the experiences of women and what it means to be a biological woman. And
like, you want to get pissed off because people are questioning your beliefs when you're sitting there questioning your gender identity?
questioning all of that while simultaneously getting very upset and traumatized and having nightmares because someone questioned their narrative. You can't make this stuff up. I mean, emotionally, I'm just.
No, you can't make stupid up. Stupid is as stupid goes. Fucking Sydney Watson. Contemplating my existence. Yeah.
Then found this particularly fun article by LGBTQ Nation. And also, mind you, if you have the time, go and look at the post on Instagram because the comments are a lot of fun. Dr. Phil invited anti trans activists to spread hate on TV, and it's painful to watch.
LGBTQ Nation commented that Dr. Phil invited anti-transgender activists to spread hate on TV, and it's painful to watch. How do you personally know they're anti-trans? Just because they don't agree with someone? I don't understand the whole trans thing, but I'm not going to go out of my way to harass somebody just because they're trans. You feel me?
Dr. Phil's guests called transgender identity a delusion.
Dr. Phil's guests calls Dr. Phil, huh? Yeah, that motherfucker. Dr. Phil's guests called transgender identity a delusion and mental illness, and then expected his trans guests to defend their existence. Well, that's called a debate. And if you can't handle debating, why you think what you're doing is not a delusion or a mental illness, and you can't even think of a good reason, then experts would say you're full of shit. But I didn't say that. No.
And mental illness, and then expected his trans guests to defend their existence. Don't these people kind of expect women to defend their existence by basically telling us, like, all the time that our existence doesn't really mean anything and that anyone can be us? I hate it. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, ain't that the fucking truth? This is where, god damn it, dude. This is where it gets tricky with the whole trans women versus biological women. Is biological women feel like that their existence does not matter. And they feel like that because we're accepting trans people, that now anybody can be a woman. And that womanhood is just something like you could get a surgery for instead of going through it your entire life. And this is where it gets tricky. Imagine, YouTube, imagine you're a woman, you spend your entire life fighting the patriarchy, fighting all these sexist, chauvinistic men, fighting for equality, just to have men take womanhood away from you. You're never going to see a transgendered man compete in sports against other biological men. You're just never going to see that. A woman transitions into a dude and says, she's strong. You know what I'm saying? She wanna frickin' go ahead. Oh wait, we already saw that. Only on the reverse. They actually had a UFC fight of a transgendered woman fighting another woman, and it was painful to watch. It was just like, dude, they, them, she, it, whatever they identify, they are kicking the crap out of her. It's completely unfair. And if you call it out, you're a fucking transphobe. And I'm like, yeah, but if you, as a dude, have spent the first 20 to 30 years of your life benefiting from testosterone, and out of nowhere, you just change your sex because, you're sick and tired of getting your ass kicked by your fellow men. So you come out as trans because you know you'll have an easier advantage. That's what I'm saying, dude. Trans people should have their own athletics. This way, women still have a fair advantage, and then trans women have their own sports teams. That's the best way to do it. And if you want to use the female locker room or the female bathroom, you should have to fully be transitioned into the opposite sex as a woman before you're allowed to use it. That's the only way we're going to put a stop to, dudes who identify as non-binary trans. They have the tits, but they still have their dick. And, yeah, don't even get me started on that shit. YouTube, you either give trans people their own bathroom or make them fully transition before they're allowed to use the opposite sex's bathroom. Because that's bullshit. Segue, that's exactly what the fuck Sydney Watson was talking about. I'm like, gee, I wonder, is Sydney Watson going to talk about, uh-huh. I need another beer. I farted, and it's fucking juicy.
Really aware of the fact that I've talked about this a lot, and obviously this video with Matt Walsh is just another illustration of how insane we're getting as a group of people, as a society. And I know that this topic,
because this is where it gets tricky, YouTube. If you support trans women's rights, you're gonna take, at some point you take away from the rights of other people. I'm all for equality, but there's never going to be true equality, and that's the bitch of it. Because if you give women more rights, there are going to be some men who are like uncomfortable with it, which then causes women to go, screw you, you sexist bastard. But trust me, ladies, when it comes to what women want is equality, not to be treated like a man. That's how it is. There's a difference. If women got treated like men, you would fucking hate it. Next time you're on your period, whining about cramps, and someone just looks at you and says, suck it up, you pussy, it's just a period. No sympathy, no coddling, none of that. Well, why don't you rub some dirt in it, you crybaby? Wham! Because that's exactly what it's like to be a man. And, I'm not complaining. It's just how us men are treated in society. And that's not to erase the way women are treated. Far from it, because women get a fair amount of crap too. Women, you get a fair amount of crap too, and it ain't fair. God damn it, it just ain't fair.
is inevitably going to get bigger and bigger, and it's going to keep coming up again and again. But us consistently talking about it, I don't think is such a bad thing, because something has to give. If these kind of people are the ones directing conversation, then it's safe to say that we're not heading in a particularly good direction. And I think the truth of the matter is that this is extremely insulting and pretty offensive to biological women. We actually talked about this exact topic on my show.
Here's the bitch of it. Trans people have been discriminated against for years. If Bruce Jenner would have come out as Caitlyn Jenner at the height of Bruce Jenner's career, right when he's winning all these Olympic medals, that would have taken some real balls. But coming out as trans in the post you're forced to accept it society, Kellogg's Frosted Snowflakes, they're offended.
You Are Here the other night, and coincidentally and funnily enough, the guest that we had on at the time was Buck Angel, who is a female to male transsexual. And here's a snippet of the conversation that went on during that episode.
I know it by living my life as a female and then living my life as a man. Two different spaces. That being said, when somebody like that says womanhood is just something you basically feel, or I'm not even feel, just put on, that's insulting. That is insulting to women and is degrading.
Thank you. Thank you. You have a woman who has transitioned into a man, and he's sitting there saying, excuse me? Fucking idiots on Twitter and social media say what now?
Is also not understanding what that guy just said. What is a woman? Didn't even answer the question.
Well, I can't define it. So I made a video on my channel a little while back called The Erasure of Women, and I just went through a myriad of things that, personally I feel are happening, or that observably are happening, where we're eroding language around
That's
women,
right.
you know, where like I'm a cervix haver
Ugh.
rather than a female or a woman, or, you know, these actual terms that have existed for millennia that we have comfortably used for a very long time.
You're a birthing person.
I'm a birthing
Birthing
person.
person.
So if they were to define these terms, they would find very quickly that their worldview would fall apart.
That's right.
Saying that a woman is nothing more than a feeling is, as you said, Buck, it's so insulting
It's
because
insulting.
it renders me. What am I then? Because if we can't define what a woman is, and a woman is
Okay, just because you can't figure out your gender identity doesn't give you the right to take away the identity of other people and their genders. You feel me on this?
anybody who identifies as a woman, then we're better off saying that we're just people or we're humans.
Yeah.
And if we're humans, then that includes everyone.
That's
so
right.
woman means nothing. In the last little while, we've seen some people claim that trans women can experience periods.
Yeah, trans women, unless you have ovaries and you start menstruating, you're not gonna have periods. Oh my goodness. Oh my god.
Because they get cravings and mood swings. Yeah, because it's not like a period has anything to do with female reproductive processes.
No
And
shit,
speaking of
Sydney.
female bodies, I recently saw an Insider article that described women as players with vaginas when referencing the TV game show Survivor. The British Columbia government in Canada recently tweeted about pregnant people and self-identifying pregnant people because, you know, it's not just women who can get pregnant today.
This makes my head hurt. YouTube, I'm not trying to be a dick, but growing up, when I asked my parents and grandparents about the birds and the bees, they flat out told me women get pregnant and they push the baby out their pussy. So me being a kid at the time, I was just like checking the toilet to see if they, you know what I'm saying? Ew. But yeah.
If you aren't a woman, you can just self-identify as pregnant, as it were. Because what?
You cannot just. Oh my god. You cannot just self identify as pregnant. Are you fucking retarded? It doesn't work like that. That's not how Mother Nature works. I don't care. You want to call me whatever. Dude, fuck off. Oh my god. God fucking damn it, that is a sexy ass Savinelli. Just look at that pipe, dude. Brand spanking new. Very dapper if I do say so myself. I'm about to go outside and smoke some pipe tobacco because this is making my fucking head hurt. The beer's just not doing it. Got some half and half pipe tobacco, burley and bright. Break this bitch in. I'm very pleased with the purchase of my new tobacco pipe. That is just fucking sexy. Oh my god, YouTube. I am in love with this pipe. That is fucking sexy. I still love the other pipes in my collection, but god damn, dude. I mean, like that like emerald green finish and that billiard shape, classic. You can, what? Now, I'm all for supporting trans rights, 1000%, but you cannot just identify as a pregnant person. Fuck me, dude. This is, oh my god, dude. Stop. Dude, I am very pleased with my new tobacco pipe. I cannot stop staring at it. That is just fucking gorgeous. Go on, smoke it here in a minute.
Words even mean anyway. Perhaps the best part.
Now, if you got a tobacco pipe, brand new, okay, fishtail at that. Fishtail mouthpiece. Shout out to George Bruno, the Sultan of Silver. Yes. Oh, it's smooth. Oh my god, dude, this pipe is fucking sexy. Yeah, the building is now smoke free, but that's alright. I don't mind going outside to smoke a pipe. I fought it at my last apartment. It didn't work out so well. If I'm at a friend's house where they allow smoking indoors, or if I'm at like a bar, you know what I'm saying, that allows it, or if I build my dream house. Like, I don't even want to keep it in the ashtray after I smoke out of it. I want to keep it in the box that it came in. Like, that is a gorgeous Savinelli, dude. They make it with a bent stem. They make it with rustic finish. Oh, I love my new pipe. It's sexy.
All of this is that we have people who say that they identify as neither male nor female, who dress like this, who act like this, telling the rest of us that female is an umbrella term that can encapsulate anyone. And truthfully, I don't know how or why these people became the
Yeah, Ron White said it best. Things that make you go, ugh.
authority on what it means to be a woman, what it is to be a woman, but I have to be honest, I'm extremely angry now that we're here. At this point in time, transgender ideology demands that, in the name of inclusion, we don't use words like men or women in the traditional context, as not to offend or exclude anyone whose self-identification or self-expression of gender.
Yeah, but when you're worried about self-excluding trans and non-binary, you end up excluding cisgendered people, which one might argue, yeah, but the cisgendered people have bullied the trans for ages. Okay, so two wrongs don't make a right.
Doesn't line up with their biology. We are now being told that the word women extends to everyone because if it doesn't, it might contradict the idea that biological men can be women and vice versa. Radical trans theory is effectively erasing the concept of womanhood for the sake of crystallizing the idea that being a man or a woman means really nothing at all. And it gets even weirder.
Okay, yeah, radical trans theory is the kind of batshit crazy bullshit that gives trans people a bad name. That's not quite topped off. Hold on 1 second. That's not quite a full bowl of tobacco. One second. There we go. Dude, I cannot get over how fucking sexy this tobacco pipe is. Total Slytherin colors. Someone's a Harry Potter nerd. Yes. I'm beyond thrilled with this pipe. The bowl, it's big enough. This is a pipe, dude. Like, straight up, dude, you know what I'm saying? This ain't no tiny ass bitch bowl. This is a real, you know what I'm saying, real nice pipe, dude. I like it. Worth all $100 plus that I spent on it.
that. On one hand, you have womanhood being treated as a caricature based on observable physical traits. Apparently, anyone can have a period because they have cravings, and anyone can be a woman if they wear long dress.
Okay, just because you have cravings and mood swings doesn't mean you're having your fucking period. This goes back to what I said earlier. Could you imagine if a man were to go into a bar and start telling women, I totally understand your periods, even though he's never had one? Oh boy, YouTube. It's a crazy world we live in. You know, I gotta go out and smoke some pipe because this is driving me nuts. This conversation is making my goddamn head hurt. With that being said, I'll be right back to finish the video response after I break in my new pipe with its first bowl of pipe tobacco. Oh, yes. So shout out to Savinelli. You guys and gals make the sexy tobacco pipes. Grab my unholy hat. I'll be right back. YouTube. This pipe smokes beautifully. Dude, 5 stars all the way. Check out Savinelli Pipes. That is a fucking sexy pipe. I like it.
In makeup. On the flip side of this, I've seen men who are very clearly, obviously men, say that they're women, make zero effort to appear as a woman, and still be considered a woman.
That's the frustration. That's the frustration for a lot of women, I reckon. You got these dudes who claim to be women and then make zero effort to act or look like a woman and then still be demanding that everyone, you know what I'm saying? Oh, jeez.
Is the "it's ma'am" vibe.
Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.
National Review writer Alexandra
Oh, God.
DeSanctis, names are hard, described this as erasing womanhood through a
The wholehearted embrace of transgender ideology necessarily and quite initially erases womanhood. It allows biological males to don the mantle of femaleness simply by asserting that it is their birthright. And here's what I want to say. Yes, you should have the right to identify as female if you are a male and you are over the age of 18. However, it does not mean you are a real woman. This is where a lot of people get confused. It's my birthright to smoke a tobacco pipe. It should be, you know what I'm saying, YouTube? But at the same time, you have to acknowledge the frustrations of biological women. And if you sit there and say that you don't care, then you're just as bad as the people who make fun of trans people. It's the truth. You want to demand equality, but if they're cisgender, fuck them, right? Yeah, it smells like hypocrisy.
allowing biological males to don the
Not to mention, rest in peace, Daphne. Pour some out for that lovely lady. Dave Chappelle talked about how Daphne wanted to be a stand-up comic. She wasn't the best at it. She just needed to get her chops in, you know what I'm saying? And he didn't care if she was terrible. Dave Chappelle tried to support her. Let her open for her. Then one night, she gets done performing, and some asshole shouted out, "Hey, Daphne, do the rugs match the drapes?" Just being awful, dude. Just being a real piece of shit. And Daphne responded with, "She doesn't have rugs, she has hardwood floors." And everyone just started laughing their ass off. And like, you know, once you get the niche of it, you know what I'm saying? Some people are pretty funny. And on top of that, Daphne stood up for Dave Chappelle, saying, "Hey, you know what? We need to learn to laugh at ourselves." And she was bullied and harassed by her own community, a community of people, the transgender community, sitting there saying, "We're tired of being bullied. Why can't people just accept us and treat us as equals?" And then turn around and bully someone in your own community until they commit suicide? Fuck you, dude. Do that, they, them, she, it. Insert pronouns. Don't care. I'm just saying, YouTube, it's fucking hypocritical horseshit. No, Netflix has a show about necrophilia, and y'all got offended when Dave Chappelle did his stand-up. Jeff Foxworthy, here's your sign. Now, you know, you didn't get offended when Netflix aired the show Cuties, but Dave Chappelle does his stand-up and everyone loses their shit. And I'm starting to wonder, is the world going to batshit crazy mode? This is beyond going off a fucking crazy train. This is just fucking mental, dude.
Of femaleness simply by asserting that it is their birthright. I'm not gonna lie, whenever I read into this topic, I always find myself on these feminist blogs, and weirdly enough, and confusingly for me, I find myself agreeing with many of their sentiments. Take this quote, for example. Radical trans activists, with the complicity of progressives, earnestly attempting to support what they perceive as a vulnerable victim.
This is where I'm drawing on the issue, because women know exactly what it's like to be discriminated against based off of your gender. So why, even though Sydney Watson makes a lot of really fair points, you know what I'm saying, YouTube?
Are guilty of the worst form of misogyny in their ruthless campaign to erase from our thoughts the human female body as a unique.
And not all trans people are trying to erase womanhood. They just want acceptance. Like Daphne said, to know that they are going through an experience, that they are a human being. And who gives a shit if you're trans or human being, man? We're all going through human experiences, and fuck sickos.
Life form. But ultimately, this rolls back around to the fact that woman is quickly becoming a term that means absolutely nothing. If you define a woman as anybody who identifies as such, then the meaning of the word dissolves completely. To again reiterate something that I said in my Erasure of Women video. If biological men can be considered women, and if those biological men don't have anything in common with biological women besides being humans, then the word woman has no meaning. The trans community wants us to believe that the common characteristic across the group women is that these individuals all identify as women. But if they identify as women, that leads us back to the original question. What is this thing, woman, that they identify as? Surely, if they can identify as a woman, then they can identify what a woman is. And if no one can identify what a woman is, then how can anyone know if they are one? The definition.
Yes, that is true to some extent. If the definition of woman is being changed, if the definition of woman is being changed, then you erase the identity of such and rewrite it. Like, women want to be treated just like people too. And that's the argument a lot of trans people make, is that, hey, we're all people. As long as you ain't a sicko, who gives a shit? This is a really touchy subject, so I'm trying to cover both sides of the argument. And admittedly, yeah, this is going to piss a lot of people off. Don't care.
A woman is anyone who identifies as a woman is a circular definition that leads nowhere. In the end, this is all offensive, and I'm over it. I don't want to play this game, I don't want to participate in this anymore, and that's all I wanted to say. No doubt this conversation will continue to roll on, and the reality is, guys, if I have to suffer through it, so do you. Because we're a team, and that's what teams do. In the end, women are unique, and our biology should not be denied in order to appease a fringe group of people. Now, before I open the floor...
No one's necessarily denying your rights in your womanhood. They're just simply existing alongside you. And to some degree, you're creeped out and you think trans people are weird and you can't handle it, so you're gonna say some shit.
To all of you, this is just a reminder that you can download Sheath underwear using the link in the description. When you do and you use promo code Sydney Watson, you'll receive 20% off your order. Very cool, Kanye. Also, feel free to check out...
But how would I feel if this were gender reversed? If you had a bunch of women who were identifying as men, and then they demanded to be called men, without putting in the effort to act more masculine. And the bigger question is, what is masculinity? Because you want to talk about some shit, Sydney. Holy fucking shit. Masculinity is being redefined just like womanhood is. And it's a batshit crazy world we live in.
Limited edition heartfelt merch, which will only be around for a little while longer. And then we have a couple new designs dropping that I think are hilarious, and I hope you too will think are hilarious. Now, open the floor to all of you. What do you all think? Are we actually erasing women? Am I just...
And to some degree, it is erasing the traditional idea of womanhood. But at the same time, the argument stands that women and trans women have one thing in common. They just want equal rights and acceptance.
a crazy person
and to be treated like people.
Is not in fact happening. Do the non-binary they them people, are they making a good point? Is there something to be said for
Both sides make a lot of good points, in my honest opinion.
their ideology? Is this all complete insanity and we've completely lost the plot? And what do you generally make of this issue overall? As always,
I think we can have a discussion about this, that people can be mature and not like lose their shit over it. And I think sometimes people just care way too much about this issue, you know?
like the video, hit subscribe, the thumbs up button. If you want to leave a comment, feel free to do so. Just be respectful about it. And I will see you guys next time.
Yeah, boy. Yes. Anyways, tubes, I'll catch you later.